so I'll bet you can really see how wet and lush everything is right now. Lush. That's such a great word, eh? Such an onomatopoeia. Lush. Just rolls off the tongue. Well, maybe it doesn't roll off the tongue, it rolls off the... rolls out of the mouth. Anyway, I've just put up the camera for a bit of sounds, really. It's interesting, I have this theory. I'm not really a bird expert by any stretch of the imagination, right? But it seems to me that at this time of year, there's not a lot of bird call to be heard. There's definitely still birds around. The Eurasian blackbirds are still around, the ones that nest in the house and stuff like that, and they're still around. I hear them sometimes. But it's not like there's certain times when it's like a cacophony of sound, you know? Ooh, a little landslide. Anyway, little tiny landslide. Interesting. Anyway, here's my thinking though, is that there's a period of the year where there's a lot of birds coming through this region, right? So we're in the Tropic of Cancer, which is between the equator and the northern tropic line, whatever that is. I can't remember the degree number, but anyway. And my thinking is that a lot of the birds that pass through here, like in April, May, June, are now north. They're all hanging out in Siberia, you know. And in the Americas area, they're up in the high Arctic or the boreal forest or wherever, you know, having a good time in the summer. And then they'll head back down, right? They'll head back down in, I guess, September, October, November, you know, and start hearing a bigger variety of bird sounds. And that's my thinking, anyway. Makes sense to me, you know. And I suppose a certain number, I do find in the cold season here, especially up in the mountains, it is quiet. It is quiet like now. It's not quiet, I mean, a quiet, like a winter in Canada is like really quiet. Might hear a chickadee here and there, you know, and stuff, but really quiet. But not like, it's never like that. Never so extreme. But yeah, I do notice that. Interesting. We're in the migratory path, no doubt. And I'm sure the birds love passing through here because there's lots of forest, lots to eat, I would think. Like everywhere, it's a damaged ecosystem, but still pretty happening, you know? That's my thinking, anyway. Yeah, so that's that. There's still insect sounds though. You might have heard some out there, and right now it's in the evening at my place. The cicadas are losing their minds, you know. And sometimes they sort of hang out on a tree right outside where I sit on that deck area, you know. And it's so loud. Once I took my phone that I'm recording this video on, I have like a decibel reader on it, and it was where I sit, it was in the red zone. Like where it could cause hearing damage. I mean, to be fair, when the cicadas are like that and scream so loud, I grab my broom and chase them away. But even when they're, you know, like 30 feet away, it's still really loud. But when they're really close, like 6 feet away, it's really loud. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this in my chat with Sue Chang yesterday. But I saw my first wild boar. You know, I've seen evidence of them hiking in the forest, in the mountain, and certainly a few times I've heard them crashing through the bush, you know, and I imagined it was probably a boar, but I couldn't tell because I couldn't see it, but that was my thinking. But I actually saw a wild boar, and I wasn't even out in the trails, right? I was just coming down the mountain on the little road that comes up here, and this dark, almost black animal stepped out, just started nudging into the road, and I was like, huh, that's a pretty weird looking dog. It's like, oh, it's not a dog at all. It's a boar. It's a wild pig. Anyway, I tooted my horn. It looked up, went, whoa, and scooted out back into the forest. The last thing I wanted to do was hit a wild boar on the road. For both our sakes. Anyway, and so it scooted away. It was pretty close though. It was, you know, I'd say it was like maybe 10, 15 meters away. You know, I wasn't going all that fast. I don't go that fast going down, right? This can be quite steep, and you never know where there's silt built up on the road from all the rains and stuff like that. Anyway, but it was quite exciting. And then coming home on Saturday, there was a snake halfway across the road, and I just in time scooted around and just missed its little skinny tail. It was really big and black and long, and not black, but slightly mottled. Anyway, my first thought was that it was a cobra. I think it was, but I don't know. I think so. It looks very similar to other ones I've seen. Anyway, glad I didn't hit that. I probably would have been fine because it was half into the woods already, and it was just sitting there. It wasn't even moving. Anyway, but just managed to swerve my motorbike around the tail. You know. Probably if I hit the end of the tail, it'd probably be okay. So I think what can happen is you can run it over a snake and it gets surprised, of course, and bites you, you know. Certainly don't want that with a cobra. Yeah. Or any snake, really. And a couple of times I've hit snakes, and it's so funny because, you know, you're scooting along and it's like, oh, there's a little stake on the road. It's like, oh, you're going a little too fast to swerve, and it was like, oh, shoot, it was a snake. Damn. Anyway, that's happened like 3 times for me. That's not too bad, eh? Like, I've been motorbiking up here for, I've been living here 7.5 years, almost 8 years now, and I've been riding motorbikes in Thailand for, I guess, Jesus, almost about 11 years probably. My brother Mike probably more than 11, when I first came up. He first showed me how to ride a motorbike, and there's like one of those little, oh no, the first one was, it was a nice 125 bike that we rented. Yeah, that was a good one. But other times I've rented the little Finos, like they almost look like Vespas, and man, I'm just too big for those. Like my knees were hitting the handlebars. Anyway, now I have a nice big bike. Not a big engine, but a big size, so we're all good. Anyway, how about we flip this? You can see some sights. Lots of... Oh, this is where the pigs grow. Pigs are all gone.